listening to Bitilo with Mfali Fadera.
Assalamu alaikum badi la melalu ngali kontong ngali bismillah na Bitilo kibaro rijang alnal badi malum falli fadera ngali kontong bi arabo julai karo tilitang ani astaghfirullah august karo tilulo la min sang men kono mbata julai kono already bari kontan dan se wada kal soto jam bi nga luntango men soto jang wole mu honorable yaya menten sanyanti keta moti me alon ko atemu deputy party leader ti Unite UMC political party ate munyaton ko non patio kundon ko normalan ko ada akilina matati wol kono natele kana kakacha kadinka ate nyin kambe wala mensurera ni UMC Unite ning NUP tema men kera party malon ko Lamin J Darboe wala nyaton kaya wo bengo sotta nun nyin tilitam lan kono wari sotta nun Gambia banko kam honorable kontan dan se wota keso rejang se buleni mol senyo konton kadaba ke ni wobotala sina bla kacha kono bismillah
yo assalamu alaikum ngay falle ngi konton ngela Bitilo kibaro la moy lal be konton min be Gambia ni Gambia bandel
baraka bake mbadingolu wala mu honorable yaya menteng sanyanti deputy party leader Unite UMC political party akita political party ti alon ko Talib Ahmed Bensouda ye wala nyaton kaya nabinale kadum kacha kono kacha me alon ko wala be dending so nyoko wala aning choki nyolo la men dunta ila political party ning NUP political party tema lo Lamin J Darboe men nyaton kaya kacha ning so nyoko be dendi menna anin kuko tangol men yalon ko wolelbe dending kambe wala men dunte tema nyin so nyoko wala karola foye nyola hidi place lele bang isarita nyoy munela wolbe mu kuti malon ko mbe dinkala kono nyaado mandi bar kataba ke dorom nsa follow nga jibe ke kibara nga memuta standard newspaper bulu membe dending tenyin banko député bungola kibaro le tani je ko standard newspaper ko banko député bungola man be bantambilikam journalist olu nyaato kaji ko e kana mabe ila bengol to bengol men yalon ko nyanta wala sot la membe den nin ka kiskiske nyim boda fitno wala me yalon ko wala be Gambia ning Senegal tema kibaro le tan je ko banko député bungolu banko député bungo be committee jamal lel kafuka nyoma député bungo committee men boko la committee membe maral nimbantalan ko tema wala foreign affairs banko tanko ko mem defense security ani regional government and lands mem man sakunda ngol la kodi e ko nyin député bungo la nyin committee sabolu wala be kafuka nyokan kaje ko de kiskisuroke nyin nane woni frontier problem wala me alon ko wala be Gambia ni Senegal tema ya tan je ko ilo nyin committee la so nyokan e ko bulata nyin lokon tambila na kono bar kibaro le tan je ko ila wo do ko même wo boda ko kiskisodi anim bengol men be sotla wo kiskisuro kono kibaro lu ngame muta sana nyi subabul wo duye metande wala mu ko e ko journalist olte mabe la je ko kibaro le tan nyamenna e ko nyin temben na fango e ka fo me ko honorable Demba Sabali minister membe maralin seno kola kada fo Abdoulaye Sanya minister membe maralin banko tanko kono kola kada fo Babukar Diouf e ko nyunu be keta moluti men yalon ko e ma beta ataw député bu ngonyala e satoro ke kula e menulam membe de din frontière kola Gambia ni Senegal tema men keta moli e terem makuti aketa moli jakale kuti wala mu journalist la mabe balia je ko kibaro le tan nyamen nay ko bilies tunkara nyininka ate meitandi wala mu ko ako iba ke kan kullo kono bankola tanko kola la même for security reasons nimboro nga jibe ke kibara membe den ding opposition party la so nyokan katakola membe ke kan Gambia coalition mediation task force nyaton kaya koto kibaro la ten je ko party kote ne da bondi wo kono ka fme ko People's Progressive Party memu PPPT itolu dun ko be da bondi kan coalition mediation committee la katakolu kono e ko katun itolu ning coalition committee la kolu jenya ning simfal wol be mentaka iko ni fatatale iko ni wol fatata kolu jenya la andi manson wol ka kol ket samba nyamen wala atine to be bokan je etol die metande wol mu ko iko ning opposition coalition so nyokan fon la fakalo tunku menkan memmu ning candidate letti e ko wala kita kuti me alon ko etol ni walita wala etol ko e men fasa kan wala mu nyim party led model di menketa party clear tambi doli bambo akoma bari atani je ko nyin coalition mediation task force committee e simfa menta ko e be candidate le cleaner tambindila membe bola la party kono mo ko tangol be bambo koma etol mo fasa nyine keta party sabanyangoti même findita na dolla crossiro na kalamuta rodo même findita aka nyin coalition task force committee la nyin opposition so nyokan kata kol kono men yalon ko be ke kan banko kam bari même fana nata ke jakal kudi mba tra la nga professeur yoro mbalo soto nyin lok ngom ning atara nyin parti yolu be walita ye wali yo soto committee la simfalu do malon carte fayta nyaadi le birin carte fo fanan kede jumale le carte fay foi d'accord da ning candidate le do be kala kudi malon ko ben carte da be kala kaje ko ning professor yoro mbalo ye si nga ko kacha atele mu chairman of ning committee kono men yalon ko lelbe ning kata ko nyaatun ka kam ni mboro mbadi ngol kadabake e ko police ol lelbe nyindir ke kan fantiyo dola dingrato government ko Babylon kibaro le tan je ko anti crime men felenti banjulinding in juma tambila e ko wollel kumandi kabintumo men e ko fitno boyta Babylon sato kono lamen kibaro le tan je ko iko molening fango fintira je ani molube dunni nyola atna fam fo ye police commandi itata je ye nyinindiro ke mankewo nyinje police ko e be kisasiro ke la molla pour et c'est mako ka tariata nyamenna e saje e c'est mako kanyin kewje kamuta ko kibaro le tan nyamenna e ko pap la nyaton ko pap keto political party Ibrahima Tabora Mane men nyaton kaya wollel fintita ka senandiro ke aninka bayro ke kuma lamen be kumu kanko atata kafu president Adama Barrow la Grand Coalition kanne ko kibaro le tan nyamenna mbadi ngolu asela moy demanding nim murtanan ning honorable Yaya Menteng Sinabula kacha kono bari ngolu ngali konto ngali bismillah koreke bitilo kibaro to jang nal bari malum falli fadera ko ngafa nyamen honorable Yaya Menteng deputy party leader unite UMC wole mu na luntangoti bi nabe men kachala kadinka kono wole mu nyinso nyokangoti men dunta unite UMC ning NUP tema NUP keta party me alon ko Lamin J Darboe wala nyatun kaya bari janimbe dunna kono ka fale doron ko ngana mini documentary series kuto fintindile membe dending honorable Mama Kande la kola ate keta moti me alon ko ate mu politician di Gambia akere moti me alon ko ala kobe kibar kan lungol kono nalta na YouTube to dorom al benna documentary njelale nga menke na mini in-depth bitilo in-depth mini documentary series bari montro minute kilim felenti ngo jibe ana la faka documentary nyimbe jibe al sita na YouTube oro albasotola
election Mama Kande remained one of President Adama Barrow's strongest political critics. He accused the government of failing Gambians in agriculture, healthcare, education, governance, and the economy. He spoke as a man preparing to challenge the president once again. Then came perhaps the biggest surprise of his political career. In 2026, the GDC entered an alliance with President Adama Barrow's National People's Party. The man who had spent years asking Gambians to vote against Barrow was now asking them to support him. To some, it was political maturity, proof that national interest should come before personal ambition. To others, it was the abandonment of everything the GDC had once stood for. Only history will decide which interpretation survives. So who is Mama Kande? A principled politician, a pragmatic strategist, a political survivor. Perhaps he is all three. His story cannot be told in simple terms. It is a story of loyalty and separation, of defeat and resilience, of reinvention and controversy. Few politicians in modern Gambian history have traveled a path quite like his, from Jammeh's parliament to the Purple Revolution, to Jammeh's endorsement, and finally to Barrow's alliance. Whether history remembers him as a visionary, a survivor, or simply one of the most consequential political figures of his generation, one thing is beyond dispute. For more than 2 decades, Mama Kande remained impossible to ignore. And perhaps that, more than anything else, is a true measure of his political legacy.
Mbaringolu kome nga fo nyaming wole mu na mini documentary series kutoti nga men soto abet na YouTube channel nal tata nga Mama Kande la simfale jibe ay menuta politiko kono a bulus da demento a kulus demento a 40 demento anin kol men yalon kay wole ke politiko kono fafuda min tembo mento membu ka kafu President Adama Barrow la patioma nal tata yedro al basot la honorable lafta nga kacha follow demento kunu ngaje UMC Unite ye bembasoto Penchami Hall, Memfelenting, Senegambia, Kono, Molu Findira, Ali Bengoke, Unite Ning NUP Kafuta Nyoma, Patio Me Alonkola, Lamin J, Darboe, Wole Yatonka, Lafake Ninkamina. First, Munemula reaction to that, and how significant Ninkumata Nyadile, Atolier, a la political patio, Sakofa, Katakol, Kono, Alonkola Kekan, K Pare 2016, Kate Fayoma. 2026, sorry.
Well, finally, that's a simple reaction, actually. Kunu Menketa Gambela Tarikoto, one party as young as Unite is able to attract an alliance of this nature. Very significant player in our body politics, that is NUP NUP. Kunu Molu Kontanta. And Jiko Falang Warandi Bake 2026 presidential election. Olomu NUP, Konga Funyame, a very significant player in our body politics. We join forces together, we join our resources together, and we join our voter base together to confront or challenge the incumbent in the 2026 presidential election. So it is a huge significant. Not only for Unite or NUP, but for it gives hope to many opposition groupings, either by way of formation movements or political organizations, that it is indeed very possible for political organizations to come together and form alliance, form electoral pact, and form coalition, to challenge the incumbent in 2026 presidential election. More content back kunu, more Kibar Talal Falansiata Bakeje, where attending it was a very significant historic day in Gambian politics, and we've sealed the deal. Now our structures are in place, putting their resources together, their talents and voter base together as one unit to go against the president in 2026 presidential election.
Okay, so honorable lafangalo damento wala mu coming na so nyoka ngo Kenya jiwe. So nyoka ngo kono, what does it mean? Comme la jedabo silang ate ha moment so ka president nyini abo tula jele abe bambula Talib le ko Talib ye tambi. Is that the understanding, or what is the thinking here?
Well, the understanding here is that two political institutions or formations came together. In my preamble. For them to grow together. We want to grow together. So all of us will carry institutional knowledge and memory together, so that anybody who emerge as a presidential candidate of this alliance is somebody that has already earned the trust of the alliance members, because we grow together, we carry the institutional knowledge and memory together. So that trust is going to be there during this period. So that is what I can.
I'm sorry, Nico. If anybody emerge as the leader of this alliance or as the flag bearer, what do you mean by that? Are you saying UMC NUP fanang albe silale alia kacha albe mentambindila membe kela nyaton kodi komen kakate fu? Is that the understanding, or?
Well, one thing, obviously, that is going to happen. It's an alliance that is going to prepare, or that is preparing, that is putting its resources together, that is putting its knowledge and everything together to contest the 2026 presidential election. So it cannot be without a flag bearer. Certainly, there will be a flag bearer. Either Talib, Ahmed, Bensouda, or Lamin J will lead the alliance.
Oh, that's news to me. I thought it was kind of like coming. It is certain that because yalla it will be ye hamoyten dila already ko la fakaka president wotide. Ndenga muta ko Lamin J Darboe nata ka kafu UMC kan ka Talib fasa ka president ya nyini bari be men fo kan wo ya kamta ko ntamalo wo nyama malum fu jamal fana yalo wo nyama. So muntumalem base bawo yo for saying at what point lem wobe kela coming ka jibe nyimo fulolu kono jumale be tambila modo e bula noma.
Very, very, very soon. This is not going to be long. Very, very soon, NUP and Unite will unveil their presidential candidate for the Gambian people. You said they all have ambition. Yes, that is very true. But every political party in this country and every political party head knows that only one individual will be president of this country. And joining forces together also, not all of you will be aspiring candidate. One will drop for the other. So therefore, you may have your ambition, but when we come together as allies, we are going to choose one person among the political heads who is going to lead the alliance. So to answer your question, very soon,
if we can conduct the interview in Mandinka, because it's the program obviously it's local language oriented. Either whatever local language you are more comfortable with, we can either do
we are all Mandinkas. We are Mandinkas, yes.
No, even Javi can angale kan wala back. Wala nanko, let me just
okay, that's okay. I'm from Kia actually. So lata nyokande na mbenna podo lala nyokan mbenna miro lala nyokan mbenna na politique taman lalu na political base na carte failalu mbe lala nyokan pour mbe presidential election mba contest la nyame 2026 with Adama Barrow. There's no doubt about that. Fali mbenyika wala nyulube la ambition soto ngam from Fali. It is very true. They all have political ambition. Ambition or shuttle. But sign the bill later nyoka. Prunga Adam Barrow challenge in 2021. You kono. Ntelata ko nsondako kilimba bula kliende member 2026 presidential election and nin kilima bula kilima. Alongo me abla me abama refasale purabe karte win na nyame nyimba koka. Mfali nyin ngaro falango ko wenne nyimbe keno. Nga ko atamela inshallah atamela kutake unite in NUP Grand Alliance, because other people will also join subsequently. Mba follow Gambenole, member Kelanging Alliance or Nyaton Court. What a mere. I cannot give timeline, what for no, but I'm going very, very, very soon. The Melango, Monta Mela inshallah.
No, because me atna ntinge nyininka wala anda ketanye terema kuti demanding because jama nini alliance will be kachala kacha dati dulato will be ka bo nyotole. Okay, ndolel mo pati bati ndolel nga sembo sure ndolel siata kodobe ndolel bulu ndolel la fasa la siata so atolel mo pati di me alon ko tumando bato alman sembo sure kontolu na albina dalil kanko albella fala ndolel kan ndolel be tambila so wole unte nga amata nun ko belari wole nyam
unite la approach ni mola approach man clé unite ndol baka tandi political party la ko ndol la sembo wartede mbokatan di political party lako ndolla nga ko do sototi mbokatan di political party lako ndolla leader dindi yatet mbokatan di political party lako ndolla leader nyiñatel mboka fangi tan di political party la ñimu join fention me alonko we treat every political party as a partner in this joint venture mboka fay tan di mola me alonko katan di lako ndolla siateti ndolla nga ko do sototi ndolla nga bankoloti ndolla leader darajete ndolla ko tan di mola ndolla ka fu mola alna kafunkan nal kafutankan ngajibe atolla en kafunde ndolla en kafundo nga kafunyokan nso jumal gagné dino on mu united la approach actually.
Amazing.
Yeah,
amazing. Yes. No la fake nyininga menna wole mu sign al sota nyokan sarti jumal kan palaso lelbe dila la osenu la Lamin J Darboe bang comme ning gagneta mbeke la vice president mbeke la minister di mbeke la nyinati wara nin gagneta ila molu because yalom mo bebe men kono je wala mun nafati politician olu bebe banko nyino la faka ka kantiol di banko kam so ning la Lamin J daba bina ka kafu at unite kan mo be jiko sotla ko tumando bato abe kudu cool abe kula tula kuye so la faka wala long al ni la kambe ngokono ali nyola hidi munela
mfali yalom menka opposition no la lankan menka tinya ngim place tala ite be kala ngineti without even identifying key competence unite and in NUP ndola approach is different mam no promise place la na hamen ko ngineti banko be tolarne banko nyanta bolale and gambe no leftal opposition party le kaf nyoka ndol manyo promise manyo lahidi place la manyo lahidi fenna la ta nyinelo ko gambe dingol mem carte faylade iko nyim parti la nyoka oto alinga la nyoka nin la ta nyoka nga presidential election nga contest and all other elections nin gagneta momo la key competence yaram nyone ne talaje momo se damen to safno ibe oto safla bor sayenten alta la ka kumbe nyoka pour les élections une console pour les élections une console alka talaro ke nyote malka fon subu talako atul tam because unite and NUP alliance ndol bi lata nyina ko nin nata ninga place ninga banko ta amanke ko wen ni banim patio dron ko nyanta place o maral if you are a Gambian you have key competence you are likely to serve in that coalition government wal mun to la priority so nyum place tala lefta nyina la ibe kel vice president ibe kel speaker ibe kel deputy speaker ibe kel minister of finance no to lo agreement no mam pare ngata to go ni okay o nga Gambian o le bitre femme man carte o faye folo al sita ali atala ninga nyetale say momo ite alon ko itis dam to safno ining aning kilate mo be alon ko karasa nyon to safno den ibita woldo but to answer your question ndol man nyola hidi place la adu man place tala
honorable lafta nga men jibe wala mu nyin tembodi mbe nyin tumo men kono muna atinna alla nyin pati flolu ale nyi watin tombong kanyi sonyo kan tama anin ka tafudin kuma
unite ni NUP meta nyo consult da bakel nga meeting jama balek bari nyi meeting ol be kono nga realize ko ntonni NUP la kol kaso nyo kan asoniate bakel bari tubabol gaf me mbenga we have the same vision we have the same value and also we have the same philosophy of processing things and ideas ninsi the tableau kan drum na mitim fambu kame mbesi the tableau kan drum be nyo souter mbesi the tableau kan drum be nyo bondira so way na ko make it very 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 easy wala ne be surprise la place tala manke manyo lahid place la manyo lahid fenna ma fa nyon to la wartede ma fa nyon to la doyatede ma fa nyon to la ngako do sotode ma fa nyon birin sita do hanama do nal sita nyokon don al compatible to don atol fankolende because that trust me birin to don ni nupi ngam de wondat don trust me wala mic all of a sudden we are able to coordinate trust among ourselves so what that makes the work very very easy wala tina mam ko manyo lahid place la manyo batandi fenje kono ndra wartete ndra ko do sotore ndra structure sotore ndra pro sotore ndolning NUP fo kuma sifal man duntema wala tanga na alliance ngade dano adanga ke nyene kama ninga nyeta momo so damen do safno you serve that place
so Jumale follow Findida Monyo Kang in terms of who initiated the first conversation was it NUP or Unite?
Well, it don't form because what happened, the individual consultations together. I call some, Moboja will call some, Bakar Dembo will call some, Nene and other call some. So the same thing also from the NUP. You see, when Mola Miro Sutaka Nyola or Kilinda, do understand? It's not that one side initiative. So until the party officers will get call nyame, it will find party officers will control call nyame. Until we are able, I think Nama is tight now. That so I can tell you, individual in the Malaka on solicited approaches. In Tolka Nyame, it will find Nyama, phone Nata being Nata for saying go, but I the Malbin call on solicited approach. Why not number leadership and get.
Okay, so Honorable, ikatula falako na mirolu keta kilinti na jerinyal keta kilinti. Mune mu United jerinyati aning NUP memu kilinti in kuokono.
Na jerinya wala muko one Gambian nol ko opposition party al kaf nyokam. Gambian nol ko opposition party nyaton ko ala individual ambition landi. Ale kaf nyokam. Ale blomo albe kaf nyokam ale motambin mense Adama Barrow bondido in 2026 presidential election. Amun no number one vision to me alonko mbenga je ko Gambian nol left nyinala. So funsa we have no choice. Because ngolbe Gambian nol safka. Even more men suffer, we left them now. You have no choice. Well, all these people, you may think they all have political ambition. Oh, Talib has ambition. That's why he left UDP. Lamin J ambition. When I left UDP, that's not true. Because you bank college, you move from the bank college, and this leadership of this party, being a bank college. Well, now we are able to come to this camp and come out for Yamen very soon, inshallah, by the grace of Allah, the leadership flag bearer unveil. That's number one. Number two, Banko Falembe Bata Menkono. NUP alumni ndolngalo. You cannot afford to give Adama Barrow another five-year mandate. That would be very disastrous for Gambia. So what I think another vision ngamenje nyimo nim party flow ya ko tonya. The Gambia be bata men kono. Nintol man kaf nyoka ngana symbol kaf nyoka. Ngana mirol kaf nyoka ngana na flow kaf nyoka. Na carte fala nge kaf nyoka. Oda kamda ko Gambia no bitrere. Oda Adama Barrow minal another 5 time. It's not going to be good for Gambia. That's number two. Number three, not development na yuruwa fala Kenya. Nga nyola policies yo file, nga nyola programs yo file, anu nkalla mo nyola dia model. Ofla natari alas ko tonya. Ntonin nila ideal are very, very, very similar. There cannot be exactitude actually. There cannot be something exact, but very similar. Because ndolla miro ni nyula miro ndolla approach ni nyula approach ndolla hamo banko ani nyula hamo banko ona cha mena dan betel lam fay mena dan ka fa nyoko mena dan tan sembo ka fa nyoko mena dan tan naflo ka fa nyoko mena dan tan miro ka fa nyoko prumbe left them na because we have common denominator, that is the president of the republic, his excellency Adama Barrow. Wala ndolla common denominator, so mena dan tan mali bitam bekela wala tan ngaje ko ni nyato ko flol ni parti flol ko ya ko to nyatonya but as fast ndon ni la geer nya clintele amulunda bakele oto menkele say ka funyoka mbe la nyam.
Honorable, the other thing lafake nyininga menna wole mu nying so nyokan, is it coming like albeso kan nyokan carte fayo ko le kambabang in 2026 carte fayo fo fenne malon ko albaji kan ko asekeno ku merindi le jamfa janko. You know, handing carte fayo but ala ali de nyola ali, you know, kola ta nyanya ali tenten ka de nyola.
That's a very good question. Marriage, political marriage is going to go for the longest period of time. One, there are two things. Kafuta nyokane ka election contest anu kafuta nyokana parang falam pur ka bango mara. This alliance is to contest elections at the same time to govern. It is coming for. Among is just convenience. Come in, and alliance the mayor along Kafajonko, Nahamon in the Miro be Adama Barrow Bundlenyame. No, removing Adama Barrow is one thing, but also how to govern. We also put that into consideration because many a time, particularly la coalition ka Janyane, because ilahame kudaka kanyinadi mbe ilafta memon la yo bondi. Ba ilahame ila miro ni la londo buka futa, ninga nyimbondi say mbe marlo kala nyame. Ndolanga careful with put into consideration. We put into consideration one, to contest election, and two, how to govern effectively. So to answer your question, the election of contest as an alliance, not only presidential election, National Assembly election, we are going to contest, local government election, contest, chairman or mayor election, contest together. So we are very, very mindful of that. We are not only desirous or ambitious to remove the president, but also we are desirous and ambitious on how to govern very effectively. Let that also be very, very clear. It's not. This coalition is a very different coalition. Ning coalition no natale ka sample di political party la Gambia ni aning Gambia bantala. coalition on nyanta kala nyina nyama alka funyo kan ale election contest as one unit but also ala kana da wot ali mira fala ale be marlo kala nyame because nal me mira ale be marlo kala nyame nal election ko win sai ni maral wato sita alka to kuyalla alka to nyobay wala alka to nyobay dolla isa jale split but all these two things nga haklo to abetro bake we will conduct this election, contest this election very effectively, win this election, and transit to governing, and we are also going to govern very effectively. I can tell you that for sure.
Honorable, dossier nyinka foko nying coalition no nying coming nying alliance ul thing fende me alon ka man Gambia wati bake. Nim political party sota nyokang sako fanga ning atara. Ila so nyokang o sartolu nin dalilolu man senea. Ikaje ko jama akanake problemo di banko ikaje aka tardema soto ni nata mara lola karola nga example ta 2016 la coalition of isota nyoka itata e bankota bari akam do ko kujamalu imang dakora la wara me seni andi wato min na so nyoka ngobe kekan atna fam fo dolu ko Gambia nata fo sanji sabala wara sanji lulu because sanji lulu follow President Adama Barrow sanji lulu follow abeketa no mendi wala mo coalition ko nyin coalition ko nyinem so la fake nyinin ka menna and especially ya fo janko coming al ning NUP al mang sarta landi follow manam al manyo la hedi kul al manyo la hedi palace la so how is this alliance going to be different from previous alliance nga men soto no you know coming so nyokangol men soto
you answered the question by yourself Mfalle, because it is different because wole place wole distribute ye no la hedi place wole you answered the question by yourself. Why is it going to be different from other political other alliances in this country? It's like the fang ye place wole tala ye no promise place wole la me ne ko biru wato nyin sida on man na tamano wala alliance on fenje but konta nga fo nyame tol we are different. Mbe election consult contest la nyame ngo put la in the consideration ni wi defalan mbe marlo la nyame ngo flam put la in the consideration other alliances minan ne felta wala mu ko be election contest la nyame do be kata Ahmed wala ni wi no kata hadu moy na ke place ko la and other things bantu mo bondi na ko kono manyo promise place la mam place la be gon to ngalan ko ndol mu parti fula lete place mo Gambia dingo be la place men nan to parti fula be sila ko tala nyotema. It's not fair. We are very careful of that during the coalition process. Two of us, out of 1 million people, 2 million people, droka Singapore sotara, manna government follow. So nga hakel to back out anu, brimbe coalition diamo for nga hakel to back 2016 failure. Though we are all living witness to 2016 failure. What made that 2016 coalition on failed? No understudy. We understudied that and realized that these are the issues now that 2016 failed until all the political organizations or political formation is so more put into consideration. Because Malafi more sifa repeat. Konga fanya men tolebe mu living witness land tolebe mu shede balu ringolati me alonko mbebe 2016 nga katre file nga campaign okele we are all political actors more understand so more understudy la nga make soko this is what happened, so and so happened. How about if so and so happened again? More put seriously into consideration. That is why Nani Alliance is a model. I'm very proud it's going to be a model alliance for Gambia and even other political formations that are outside the Gambia because it's so perfect and it's also very, 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 very simple. It's simple like it is perfect. So ngahakil sebagai orang tontonan difference orang muko mampalastala anu mang hadume at this stage. Imang election contest for had meta kapala so mara no kena drong alliance bukatano imang contest election la follow ibe hamering ibe pala so mar la nyameng ibe masakunda mar la nyameng ni o ke drong you are always putting yourself in trouble so until we are very careful of that and that is why we are different from other political alliances.
So albe illa kang party ko dongol la pour yena ka falma
party I've been telling people every time Ngo, in 2026 presidential election, it's going to be three horse race. NPP, UDP, and the Grand Alliance. These are the three horse race.
Jumala Grand Alliance. NPP fanan kila sonyo kang kumande Grand Alliance.
We are going to be more bigger. We are going to be more bigger than than NPP. I can tell you. This alliance couldn't make it foundationality. That's just a foundation that will attract more inclusive political alliance and electoral pact in the future. I can tell you that for sure. It's not going to be only NUP and Unite. More political formations, either by way of civil society organization, either by way of political movements or actual political parties, are joining this movement as soon as possible. Because these two forces will attract quite a lot of them. I can tell you that for sure.
Honorable Dolus Totale Menuko, Nyunso Nyokango, Ninkumu Nafatala, in the sense that I disagree. I disagree with that assessment in the sense that Gambia la politico coming Nkafo Nyaming is forced past the poll. Nim hanikate kesekili nim moye dangala is amari se gagné no la bari mol kafole. I'm sure you must have seen this online. Eko NUP wol mom mo soto mo table. So wala so anin kala fatulu kang amang fel lafa alla politiko to anin albe katakol men ke kan kabankota. Mune muila response to mol men yalonko ebenyum kota kan ka pen.
Those are desperate measures. And those are desperate talks that we will never give any attention to. I can tell you, don't any pillar kafo. You look at the individuals. Our combined political experience. You put that into consideration. You look at Talib Bensouda's track record in development. Talib performance GB. Local government administration kono. Yet Talibla performance GB, I pass election announcement contest. You go to Lamin J, who is actually a freedom fighter, who may have a credibility. Every Gambian in this country may have Lamin J. Freedom fighter. You go back to Talib, the person who fight corruption in this country. Attacked the Supreme Court about 3 or 4 times. Because of corruption-related cases, and he's able to defeat the government. You understand? You got to let me get that performance, constitutionalism, a performance in the courts. Cases all mental. He became a household name in this country. You are saying these two people coming together is addictive identity. Then you don't know what he's talking about. But as I said, those are just desperate talks. Many years ago, they know. So I can tell you this alliance is attracting thousands of Gambian voters. Gambia NUP, Imanta Unite. I spoke to 2 or 3 of them. Why are you here? Because this is what they are looking for opposition parties, and for them, priority. They don't belong to any party, but for the fact that they unite, and NUP, way to motivate, way to showering change is coming. Because now this will lay a good foundation for future.
Yeah, honorable Lafamemfola, because many call for it can mention the Wolemu Ninkate fight Tambiladi, NUP a control sort of. It's less than 1% of the vote. Kemokono, you see Lamin sort of Mamira Tambeta Sibla killing all Kemokono. So do look at what Gibe Kafoko. So Nimpati Memboko Nyama, Niwo Kafuta Atuluma, you know, Mosa Fanko, Abeloko come near Giotondi Fenko Kono, Fanka Sokono. At a Fenji Fenapala.
One thing, if I go back to physics, this is not a negligible political alliance. I can tell you that for sure. NUP, yes, it's very true. They secured I think 9,000 to 10,000 votes last presidential election, headed by Mehiso Race in Perfect Peace, my own brother Ablai Jame. You understand? This is like five years ago. NUP Katakuamenke. Within these 5 years, you have a structural law all over the country. You have a political movement. Okay, you have a rally. Now, in fact, the party is more credibility is not questioned in this country. You understand? More about a regional West Coast is the biggest, over 500,000 voter plus. What about West Coast? and West Coast Lamin J Darboe Gilako, Dingola Mu, Fangola Mati, Kombon Kolem Mati, and do Iba Fashalale. I can tell you that for sure. I'm telling you, a region of over 500,000. About he came from the most populated area. That is Combo South. The most Gunju, you are Ika Fomoleko, Oning do Eka Finokan, or the most but those are just desperate talks. I bank with Jijale, and it's not politics Jijale. It's like I'm long.
Yeah. Me koleya suka internet wala karo bari mbe moy kane. Yes.
Yeah, I understand. So for me, I can tell you, ndola nyula kafo kunum, I banko Jijale. I political party gija ni mbankoka anu I political party dolu civil society dolu political movement dolu I sawaranda I jikindiko tonya nyantala ngata la nyulukan prunga bambe banko bol la nyama. Even that only is good for us. So many go for, they don't know, many go for Talib Bensouda electoral performance in this country. Talib Bensouda darajo nyimbankoka party me go less than 3 months because movement is what is older than the party. Our party is still less than 3 months. You have your structure. As Deputy Party Leader for Finance and Administration, I coordinate the establishment of all these structures. I can tell you, there is no single word in this country, United for functional executive strategy. There is no single, how do I call it, constituency in 53 constituencies. 104 wards. All the 8 regions, now I am now coordinating with other people how to build our structures in all the 1,950 villages in this country. I can tell you by now, we are over 600 plus villages. So the last structural asset, structural footprint is already all over this country. So we are a force to economy. And NUP coming to join alliance with us, in fact, is further force to economy. More kind of money never.
Honorable, nying nyaton ka fulolu melmula Lamin J Darboe ani Honorable Talib Ahmed Bensouda itol be boda UDP la kono ikadulal men fanam fo ko tumando bato albe falingo sot la je wol jamal fanam be je wol mu UDP la du fenko leldi ila stronghold level di comme ye combo south fa jenne ye west coast fa jenne ye gunjur fole so la fa ke nyininga menna nying alliance alia wuli pour ka UDP ka UDP la boy ndi bang as the main opposition party in the Gambia or what is the thinking?
no vali ndala alliance wulin le nga lole nga mirele pour ka carte o gagner Gambia ndol man na ka fo nata parti Karle Bensouda mo kono mbita wala based on amoltaje parti Karle Ben no the alliance established la comment is our legitimate right to go after every vote based in this country. That's why we are doing that very effectively. Mana na dalilo on hamen ko manki ko natale pour que parti Karla kata parti Karnoma barangalon ko na hamen ko anina do ko kranyende mbida gambe la doldo anu be afol gambe no bele ko ye carte fanya bar ko man ka ko alngara parti Karnoma no o man kan dolla o man kan na the purpose of our establishment please.
Honorable bari say la faké ñini nga menna say alla ñu soño kango ay opposition soño kan katako dolu tumin dole. I'm talking about the coalition task force committee la soño kango because ngala no soño kan jamal be tama kan bari that one looked like it was the most advanced, mo jamal bambuta ko ma ya fasa ya sempen. So also da nyokan te nyameng I want to min dole say Oman
other coalition processes ama affect because NUP amantara o process nyingon natran tol mo flo belbe no process nyingon mfinti de ngayinde dam fay safa ko abe process ni affect la but NUP atamantara nying ADD o ning CMC coalition talks kono is a separate body amantara je so therefore don't will let of nyokan Oman will affect fenna because by I think next week or so or processor for they are going to choose a flag bearer. So many affect fena. To answer your question, a many affect fena. o coalition process of flambita can answer you may affect for at all sanjo getting probably is like internet is fluctuating.
Yes, knowledge, but honorable so janim bebula later la fake nyininga menna atodum fang nying opposition so nyoka ngome alon ko le mbole ko kacha kandeng nga jele party kotangolu findita, most of them are coming out jama e kam même fo wala muko coming nyim party yo silo menta simfa menta anito le mem muta wala manka kilindi nga jele UDP na ray wala fo UDP ko itol membe muta ritol bu wala mu party letti and pap fanam findita e poto coalition kaf kilingo nyim fanam kono na raje fanam PPP fanam botaje. You know, so first of all, what is your reaction to all these parties that are leaving this coalition for change mediation effort member Kega? What is your reaction, number one? Number two, also, okay, go ahead. Maybe not that you will follow.
Yeah, that absolutely normal. Moma mo forse kadu India mo kono. So ni moma mo forse kumena. E bole ye falan, moma rights do ke forse ye tuje. So omula right leti, but I can for about their reasons of living. I can tell you they are unfounded. They are just stories. But now it's their liberty. Ila la follow mu ka participate. Ila la follow from purka findi. So for that being the case, we have to respect them for their decision. And for my former party, UDP, I always tell people I don't want to be talking about UDP in any interview now. I just wish them all the best.
But honorable, don't you think the problem is with the structure itself? Because ning atara patiolo menube kafo nyinkono. Wolube ka findi kaitan diko coming ndolnga koje nyame ngamuta nyame amanna laba wo nyama. How was the decision making process made then?
Well, why is it an intelligent question? Each Gambian should ask yourself is they have been in this process for 3-4 months. Why are they leaving at the time when the time is choose the flag bearer? Why? Because began several months ago and you were in the process. Now if you try to choose the flag bearer, you give the reason the process mantra tapuka. But in the process every Saturday I'll meet I'll discuss Imam Bote Fabri why?
Bari wala mu honorable Yaya Menteng Sanyandi network ko be jija kande ka fanya men samala be ke kan yinte men ngamaran tol fongo be sama ko kan moy kande duma je honorable mbeje la mbeten to la yewatu menta kakafuma honorable Yaya Menteng mu unite UMC la deputy party leader di admin and finance ma ninko mu party nyaton ko normal on ko lamati kantiyo lamati je honorable ninga tara if we can squeeze that in kuma laban nabe bulu about this alliance la faka meng tambindi mole o second saratode
alliance of ko ngalo foundation of ngala so we are other political other political movements and political parties will join the alliance that participated to have so then political be Gambian transform Barrow in 2020 presidential election.
Thank you very much, Honorable Yaya Menteng Sanyang ngal bolo se ya tol men benjibe kan albem moy kan mbe kolea soto kan internet la karola o nyala bangola jedron wat na fango ngamera membe kekula wala mu nga kacha danjang because kumo dulu ka fo abibu ka sene am ka moy bari kacha nying alhamdulillah ngaya Honorable Yaya Menteng Sanyang jey nga tento ay wato menta ka kafuma Bitilo programme de jam atol membe moy kan radio to Gambia albem moy kan Vibes FM le 106.1 FM atol membe jibe kan dulalto alnim Bitilo le mus atol membe YouTube Facebook anin dinkira kotongol to misal sasi ngal dani pour al subscribe na YouTube channel oro al ka subscribe nyameng aka kibaru janjang sunani wala nyama ka futano mo jama mo wala nyama nal subscribe ta fanam atol fanam be kala mo fololdi menu be kibaro sotla ning na kacha dati dorong wara ninga na documentary dundi anin ku ko men yalon ko nka wallel ke Bitilo de jam alama tilo to diala alama be tankala katanin katato la bari namananta dorong mbe fenko play la lejang ning another excerpt of our documentary na video documentary me alonko nga wole ke membe dending honorable mama Kande la kola ko ngaita ni nyamenna ata kira moti me alonko alla ko farmansa da bake kibaro ning lungo lu kono membe dending aning President Adama Barrow la NPP la so nyokangola o kira fendi me alonko tina famfo nga mini documentary series deda na Bitilo in-depth documentary series about mama Kande kundingo ala politiko ay simfalu menuta ala baluwo kono kana fokabula Bitilo la mbe Bitilo menteng po politiko ala nga jibe bari al sita na YouTube channel ta be full documentary yin tarla je.
Election, Mama Kande remained one of President Adama Barrow's strongest political critics. He accused the government of failing Gambians in agriculture, healthcare, education, governance, and the economy. He spoke as a man preparing to challenge the president once again. Then came perhaps the biggest surprise of his political career. In 2026, the GDC entered an alliance with President Adama Barrow's National People's Party. The man who had spent years asking Gambians to vote against Barrow was now asking them to support him. To some, it was political maturity, proof that national interest should come before personal ambition. To others, it was the abandonment of everything the GDC had once stood for. Only history will decide which interpretation survives. So who is Mama Kande? A principled politician, a pragmatic strategist, a political survivor. Perhaps he is all three. His story cannot be told in simple terms. It is a story of loyalty and separation, of defeat and resilience, of reinvention and controversy. Few politicians in modern Gambian history have traveled a path quite like his, from Jammeh's parliament to the Purple Revolution, to Jammeh's endorsement, and finally to Barrow's alliance. Whether history remembers him as a visionary, a survivor, or simply one of the most consequential political figures of his generation, one thing is beyond dispute. For more than 2 decades, Mama Kande remained impossible to ignore. And perhaps that, more than anything else, is a true measure of his political legacy.
You're listening to Bitilo with Mfali Fadera.